Hi, this lesson is about comparatives and superlatives, how to compare. Hola, esta lección es sobre comparativos y superlativos, cómo comparar. Hi, welcome to Spanish for London. I am Laura and today I will teach you how to compare in Spanish. Let's go. The first thing, which is very easy, is to say taller than or smaller than or whatever. You can change the adjective here. In Spanish, to say, for example, John is taller than his brother, we say Juan es más alto que su hermano. So as you can see, the form in blue is translated into the form in red. So taller than is más alto que, okay? So we put más, then the word alto, tall, bajo, short, inteligente, intelligent, whatever you want to put here, and then que. So, Juan es más alto que su hermano, John is taller than his brother. Juan es más bajo que su hermano, John is shorter than his brother, and any other form. And if you want to say less than, you put menos instead of más. So, Carmen is less fat than her mother will be Carmen es menos gorda que su madre. Okay, so it's very easy. Remember the forms are más, the word here, que, for example, taller than, or menos, and the word followed by que for less than. And if you want to put an adverb here, if you don't remember what is an adverb, what is an adjective, you have a specific lesson about clases de palabras. This is absolutely fantastic to study a language. It's a shortcut. It's a very brief lesson where I explain what is a noun, what is an adverb, what is an adjective, and you need this as your daily portion of bread, because if you understand this, you will understand much more about Spanish. So María habla más lentamente que yo means Mary speaks more slowly than me. So you can also put here an adverb. Más lentamente que, slowly than, más rápidamente que, quickly than, etc. Okay? So remember, our first comparative forms are más que and menos que. Good. Now, more examples. La limonada es mejor que el zumo de naranja. So, lemonade is better than orange juice. Okay, now, better es mejor. And the opposite words es peor. So, if I say el pollo es peor que el pescado, I'm saying chicken is worse than fish. So, you have here the comparative forms mejor and peor, meaning better and worse. These forms are the special forms for good and bad. So good es bueno, bad es malo, okay. Better es mejor and worse es peor. And then you have the forms to compare big and small. The comparative form bigger or older is mayor, and the form for younger or smaller is menor. So, my sister is older than me is, mi hermana es mayor que yo, and my cousin is younger than me es, mi prima es menor que yo. So now, remember, mejor y peor, better and worse, mayor y menor, older and younger. Now listen to me, a lot of students mispronounce mejor and mayor, and as a result, we native speakers don't understand what you are saying, because if you say something like mejor, for example, this doesn't exist in Spanish, or mayor, it doesn't exist in Spanish. So I don't know what you are saying, and I don't know if you are trying to say mayor or mejor. So please be very careful and practice. And when you practice pronunciation, practice aloud and slowly, because it's not an intellectual question, it's not intellectual training, it's muscular training. You need to practice with your mouth, with your tongue, with your lips to produce a new sound. So do it aloud and do it slowly. So practice mejor mayor is completely different. If you say something different, we don't understand, okay? Remember that you have your lessons about pronunciation. Okay, let's continue. Mejor, better, peor, worse, mayor, older or bigger, menor, younger or smaller. Okay, now, so do not mix up mayor and mejor. Now, when you want to say, for example, this street is wide, you say, esta calle es ancha. And as you know, when I want to say this street is wider than Colón Street, I say, esta calle es más ancha que la calle Colón. So wide, ancha, wider than, más ancha que. You know this stuff. Now, what happens when I want to say the widest street? This is called the superlative form because this is the most in its type. So, esta calle es la más ancha del barrio. In this case, when we want to say this is the widest street in the neighborhood, I put más ancha, but preceded by the article. La más ancha. If I say esta calle es la más ancha only and I do not say del barrio, I'm saying this street is the widest. If I want to be more specific, I can say the widest in the neighborhood. So, la más ancha del barrio. So remember, when you want to compare, you put más ancha que. You are saying that the street is wider than this other street. But if you want to say the widest, you put the article here and you say la más ancha. And of course, this is feminine because calle is feminine. But always remember, if I am comparing a masculine form, I have to put here el más ancho. Suppose that I'm talking about a book and I say, este libro, this book, is the widest of, in my house. El más ancho, not la más ancha, because libro is masculine. So all the time, when speaking and writing in Spanish, you have to take into consideration the agreement amongst words. Words are, as I usually say, members of a team and they are playing the same match together. So if one of them is feminine, the rest is feminine. If one of them is masculine, the rest is masculine, or plural or singular. Remember this all the time because it's very easy to remember, very easy to understand intellectually, but you do not put it into practice when talking and speaking because it's more natural for you the English character, which is different. So remember, take into account that some things when you study a new language are very easy to understand, but then you fail again and again when trying to say something because you have your microchip in your brain in your native language. So this is an excellent advice for you. Okay, and then again, if I want to say this is the widest street in the neighborhood, I say esta calle es la más ancha del barrio. Or I can say this is the widest street, esta calle es la más ancha, and I can add, to be more emphatic, de todas. So the widest street of all, la más ancha de todas. Okay? Look, now you have here the same, I explained this. So you have it here more organized. You have the adjective, for example, ancho, wide. Ancho, ancha, anchos, anchas. I put the 4 forms here so you will remember that you have to change it all the time according to the thing that you are modifying. So wider than will be más ancho que if the thing that you are comparing is masculine, or más ancha que feminine, or más anchos que masculine plural, or más anchas que feminine plural. And the same with the superlative form, the widest. El más ancho, la más ancha, los más anchos, las más anchas. Okay, I continue. Now, let's see how to compare numbers or expressions of quantity is basically the same, but there is a slight difference. Now, instead of más que o menos que, when we compare numbers or expressions involving a quantity, we say más de o menos de. So there is a más que o menos que to compare in general, and then más de o menos de when comparing numbers or expressions of quantity. Take a look. I have more than 3 siblings. Tengo más de 3 hermanos. If you say más que 3 hermanos, this is wrong in Spanish. You have to put más de because you have a number here. Más de 3 hermanos, o tengo menos de 4 tíos. I have less than 4 uncles. You can use these forms. Remember, when you have to talk at school, for example, about me and my family and friends, you have the unit, me, my family and friends. If you use one of these forms, you are showing to your teachers that you are able not only to say something about your family, but also to use comparative forms. So more marks, more marks. Remember, they work in this way. Okay, more marks, and you need marks. Okay, esperé más de 1 hora. I waited for more than 1 hour. Again, 1 hora is a number. So with numbers, más de, menos de, más de, not que, de. Okay, let's continue. More examples. Here you don't have numbers, but if you think, you will notice that a number is involved, a quantity is involved. When I say I studied more than usual, estudié más de lo habitual, it's because I usually study 15 minutes, and today I studied 25 minutes. Okay, estudié más de lo habitual. I studied more than usual. So a number is involved, even though I don't have a number here. So I put más de. And the same here. I trained more than expected. Entrené más de lo esperado. Or here, I slept more than necessary. Dormí más de lo necesario. If we need to sleep according to our GPs 8 hours and I slept 9 hours, it's a number, it's a quantity, so más de lo necesario, no más que, más de lo necesario. Now, the last thing that you have to know is how to compare two things which are equal in some aspect. So to say as. So, for example, John is as tall as me. Okay, let's see. In this case, use tan in front of adjective or adverb. So, for example, el libro es tan bueno como la película. The book is as good as the movie. So, tan bueno como, as good as. So you put tan, then the word, adjective or adverb, then como. Okay? Lo hace tan rápidamente como tú. He does it as quickly as you. As quickly as, tan rápidamente como. Okay? Easy. Now, in front of nouns, instead of tan, we put tanto, tanta, tantos, tantas. And of course, masculine if the noun is masculine, feminine if the noun is feminine, and so on. For example, John has as much money as Mary. Juan tiene tanto dinero como María. Now with the feminine. He has as much patience as she. Él tiene tanta paciencia como ella. He has as many books as she. Él tiene tantos libros como ella. Or he has as many jackets as she. Él tiene tantas chaquetas como ella. So remember, tan como, when in the middle you have an adjective or an adverb, but tanto, tanta, tantos, tantas, como, when in the middle you have a noun. Okay? Okay. And the last thing, very useful. When I want to say that something is very, very, very something, very small, very big, very nice, very awful, very quickly, doesn't matter. We can say in Spanish, muy, which is the word for very. So, mi casa es muy pequeña, my house is very small. But we have another option, which is this. We can add this ending to a word, to an adjective frequently, ísimo for masculine, ísima for feminine, and this means very, very, very something. So, for example, if I want to express the idea that my house is really tiny, instead of saying mi casa es muy pequeña, I say mi casa es pequeñísima. This is very, very frequent, frecuentísimo en español. We say this all the time, so use it, it's really frequent. So, mi hermano es muy bajo. If my brother is really short, I can say es muy bajo, but I am more emphatic if I say mi hermano es bajísimo. So only drop the last letter of bajo and replace it by ísimo. Okay, and that's the end of the lesson. See you next time, practice and complete the activities. Bye bye, adiós.